Shana Tova.
Shana Tova.
And on Yom Kippur we say, Gmar Chatima Tova. Gmar Chatima Tova. Wishes for a good year, and may we all be inscribed and sealed in the book of life. Amen.
Amen.
Please open to page 5 in our High Holiday Machzorim, our prayer books. We invite you, and again, whenever people have said to me, well, what's this rise in body or spirit thing? Simply to remind us to listen to our bodies. The invitation to rise asks you to check in, and if you feel like you're able, fine. If you need to be seated, you can rise without getting up on your legs. So invite those who are able to rise in body or spirit as we kindle the holiday and Yortzeit candles tonight.
We light our Yortzeit candle in memory of all of our loved ones.
Zichronam livracha. May their memories forever be a blessing. Where the world is dark with illness, let us kindle the light of healing. Where the world is bleak with suffering, let us kindle the light of caring. Where the world is dim with lies, let us kindle the light of truth. Now Zoe lights the High Holy Day candles in honor of Yom Kippur. Intone the blessing on page 5 in the middle of the page, second bracha, and it's tonight is Lahadlik Ner Shel Yom Tov. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu Amen. Please be seated. We say, may it be your will, eternal one, our God, God of our ancestors, that these candles light up the pathway of return to us on this Yom Kippur, and we say, Amen. Amen.
Kol yom lefanecha, kol yom lefanecha, kol yom lefanecha.
So we gather tonight to complete the cycle of our Aseret Yemei Tshuva, our 10 days of Tshuva with this Erev Yom Kippur service. Tonight we are invited into a very special Jewish sacred time. We are all invited to let go of any feelings of estrangement, feelings of not belonging, feelings of inadequacy, because if you are here, you belong here. Spiritual intimacy is being offered. All feelings are welcome. All memories count. All associations are honored. This is yours if you claim it. The words are like a great-grandmother speaking to you lovingly. You might not be able to make out some of the words, but the intention is loving, and it is directed towards you. Most of the words and the melodies come to us from ancestors that we have never met. But these words, these melodies, were written for our great-great-grandparents, written for our parents, written for us, written for our children and grandchildren. Should they someday wish to pray them, to hear them, to allow them in. Tonight, we light the sacred fire of this Beth Chaim community, and we join the sacred fires of Jewish communities all over the world. In this moment and throughout history. For sacred moments don't exist in regular time. They live in a very special place called timeless time. So the invitation is simple. We open our hearts together to enter through this portal of the new year, a new beginning, a renewed precious life. Join us. The fire warms us all. We are ready. We gather tonight for the conclusion of the cycle we call the 10 Days of Awe. Our great prophet Isaiah says, Nachamu, Nachamu Ami, comfort, comfort my people, comfort, comfort, says your God.
Nachamu, Nachamu Ami, Yomar Elohechem. 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 Dabru alei Yerushalayim vekiru ileha. Dabru alei Yerushalayim vekiru ileha. Naina naina
Please turn to page 4, second line from the top. We ready ourselves for Kol Nidre with this prayer of acceptance. We accept into our midst whoever seeks to show up with us. We accept all others, and more importantly, ourselves, even the parts of ourselves that we struggle with or deny. We come as individuals and as one sacred community. Bishiva shel Mala Uvishiva shel Mata Aldat ha-mako ve'aldat ha-kahal anu matirin lehipa im habar yanim. Tonight we will have 3 recitations of the Kol Nidre, as is our people's tradition. 2 of the people we will bring into this sanctuary from a distance, people who have deep connections with our community, people who have gifts of voice, of exceptional musical talent, to enhance the holiness of our service tonight. The first will be by Rachel Mazer, daughter of Mark Mazer and Susan Talon Mazer. Her voice and spirit are such a gift, and we are grateful. The second rendition of Kol Nidre will be sung by Eve Decker. Eve will be doing a powerful interpretation of the Kol Nidre written by Rick Dinitz that is not a translation, but it captures the essence of this profound prayer. We are so blessed to have Eve lead our Chazzanut group, our cantorial group, during these Yamim Noraim, these days of awe. We are also honored to once again have Evan Chapman, a composer and musician, Dean Chapman's son, another young person who grew up in our community, recorded some lovely pieces to help lead us through these high holy days. He and his wife Brita, who currently live in Austin, Texas, and are expecting their first child. Mazel tov on that. Brita is a concert violinist who for the 4th year will be offering an instrumental rendition of Kol Nidre arranged by Evan. I ask you to repeat after me with as much kavanah, as much intention of the heart as we can. May this day bring a tikkun, a great healing. I extend forgiveness to everyone who has harmed me, whether through word or action. May no one suffer on my account. And just as I forgive others, so may you, Holy One of blessing, grant me favor in their eyes, so that they will forgive me as well. Amen. We don't really know who wrote Kol Nidre or when it was written. Many scholars believe that it was first used in the Middle Ages during a period of extreme persecution in which Jews were forced at sword's point to convert either to Christianity or Islam. Kol Nidre was a secret prayer that had the spiritual power to nullify that forced conversion. There is no question that Kol Nidre became vitally important to our people at the end of the 15th century, during the time of the Spanish conversos, Jews who were forced to convert to Christianity, yet who secretly maintained their original faith. We still carry the memory of these Jews forced to convert, who once a year on this night of Yom Kippur gathered in cellars and caves lit by flickering candlelight, risking their lives to softly, soulfully sing Kol Nidre, to affirm their deep connection to Yiddishkeit, to Judaism, even as they were forced to live a fraudulent life in public. We honor these ancestors. We intone these sacred words to commit to living our most authentic life with all of the more subtle pressure that our culture places on us to assimilate and forget who we really are. And we express our unending gratitude to partners, spouses, and to other allies who support our embrace of Jewish values, history, religion, and identity. In a moment, we'll take out the Sifrei Torah. We'll open the Ark and take out the Sifrei Torah. It is our tradition to rise to honor the Torah. I want to just say that the Torahs will be out for some time, so if your body is telling you that you need to sit, then sit, please. There's no higher way to honor the Torah. All who are able, body or spirit. Let these ancient, sacred Jewish melodies engage our souls.
Kol Nidre Miyom Kippurim Sayam Kippurim Miyom Kippurim Sayam Kippurim Abba Aleinu V'tova kulhon ichatrana vehon kulhon yahon shara Shavikin, Shavitin, Beteli Mutalin, Lashrim Velakayamin, Nirana La Nidre. שרי ושבועתנה לשבועות.
All we are, all we have been, all we have said, all we have promised, all we've forgotten, all we have done, all we earnestly intended, yet we did not do. Help me see. Help me be who I could be. Help me gather up the broken parts and recreate myself as from the start. Today we turn back time, restore harmony and rhyme. Look a year ahead to Yom Kippur, to see our better selves walk through this door. Our flaws we own, harmful habits hard as stone. We repair and we atone, returning to ourselves and to our home. Soul stains need cleaning. Destructive deeds I've done demand redeeming. With caring and repairing. The road we are clearing, the boat we are steering. Help me know the direction I must grow. Help me through this sea between my old ways and the new. Today, the gates of change swing open with renewed hope.
We hear Kol Nidre for the third and final time. This, our rabbis teach us, is the Kol Nidre that calls us into encounter with the great mystery. We honor the tradition that this final Kol Nidre transcends words by listening to a deeply soulful rendition on an instrument that has the power to touch our souls. If you're able, please remain standing. If you're not, please be seated. Turn to page 5 for the Borchu. I la 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 la. I la 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 la. I Please be seated. On page 5, the last paragraph is our prayer, Ma'ariv Aravim, that invites us not to lose touch with the rhythms, the natural rhythms of the setting of the sun, the rising of the sun. We use number 2 on our tefillah page for the congregational response. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bidvaro ma'ariv Evening, the frayed edges of our lives. Ma'ariv, Aravi, Amen. Through insight, always unlocking the gates of time, and through understanding, repeating and varying the cycles of the seasons, setting the pathways of the stars and planets in space according to design, conceiving day and night, rolling away light from the face of darkness and darkness from the face of light, closing the day and bringing on the night. Evening, the evening, evening, the frayed edges of our lives. Ma'ariv, Aravi, Amen. Chai v'kayam tamid yimloch aleinu leolam avad baruch ata Adonai Hama'ariv Aravim. Amen. We turn towards the Shema with our meditation. Open up our eyes. Number 6 on our Tefillah page. Please join us.
Open up our eyes.
Open up our eyes.
Teach us how to live.
Teach us how to live.
Fill our hearts with joy and all the love you have to give. Open up our eyes.
Open up our eyes.
Teach us how to live.
Teach us how to live.
Fill our hearts with joy and all the love you have to give. Gather us in peace.
Gather us in
as you lead us to your name, and we will know that you are one. We will know that we are one. We will know that all is one.
Before we utter the sacred words of the Shema Yisrael, we're reminded to listen to our own voices. Shema Kolenu. May we honor our tradition of listening, of being present, by listening to the people in our lives when they are in pain, when they are in need, when they need us to be present. I will lead. Please respond with our Chazzanut group. Shema, 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 Kolenu, Kolenu, Shema, 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 Kolenu, Kolenu, Shema, 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 Kolenu, Kolenu, 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 Shema, 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 whatever is your tradition, to stand or to sit for the Shema V'ahavta, please feel free to do so. When we say the Shema, what might it mean that we are all one? The renowned American astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson reminds us that the top 4 ingredients, the top 4 atoms in our bodies are hydrogen, oxygen, carbon, and nitrogen. The top 4 chemically active atoms in the universe are hydrogen, oxygen, carbon, and nitrogen. While we live in this universe, the universe lives within us. We are special because we are the same. The Shema and V'ahavta can be found on pages 6 and 7. Let's make one great echad, one sound together with our breath drawn from the deepest place within us. Shema Yisrael Please be seated. Please listen.
Now is the time for turning. The leaves are beginning to turn from green to red and orange. The birds are beginning to turn and are heading once more toward the south. The animals are beginning to turn to storing their food for the winter. For leaves, birds, and animals, turning comes instinctively.
But for us, turning does not come so easily. It takes an act of will for us to make a turn. It means breaking with old habits. It means admitting that we have been wrong. And this is never easy. It means losing face. It means starting over again. And this is always painful. It means saying, I'm sorry. It means recognizing that we have the ability to change.
These things are terribly hard to do. But unless we turn, we will be trapped forever in yesterday's ways. God, help us to turn from callousness to sensitivity, from hostility to love, from pettiness to purpose, from envy to contentment, from carelessness to discipline, from fear to faith.
Turn us around, oh God. Bring us back to you. Revive our lives as at the beginning, and turn us toward each other.
Amen.
Amen.
All who are able, please rise and body your spirit. Listen to the words of one of our people's greatest visionaries, the prophet Isaiah. After we sing this call and response, it's not in your prayer book, we move directly into Mi Chamocha, which is on page 8, last paragraph.
Ki tavo b'mayim itcha ani. Ki tavo b'mayim itcha ani. When you walk through the water, I'll walk with you. I'll walk with you. When you walk through the water, I'll walk with you. I'll walk with you. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. I'll walk with you. I'll walk with you. I'll walk with you. I'll walk with you. When you stand up on holy ground, I'll stand with you. I'll stand with you. When you stand up on holy ground, I'll stand with you. I'll stand with you. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. I'll stand with you. I'll stand with you. I'll stand with you. I'll stand with you. When your journey brings you to my shore, I'll welcome you. I'll welcome you. When your journey brings you to my shore, I'll welcome you. I'll welcome Don't you. Be afraid. Don't be afraid.
Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid.
Al tira, al tira,
Al tira, al tira.
welcome you.
I'll welcome you.
I'll stand with you.
I'll stand with you.
I'll walk with you.
I'll walk with you.
Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai.
Adonai.
Mi kamocha neda b'kodesh.
Bakodesh.
Halai la la la, halai la la la, halai la la la, halai la 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 la, halai la 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 la, halai la halai la 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 la, halai la 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 la, halai la la la, halai la la la.
Have a seat. The great poet Hafiz wrote, "The sun never says to the earth, 'You owe me.' Look what happens with a love like that. It lights the whole sky." We move toward our time of silent reflection with a reminder of the four most essential Jewish spiritual practices: love, compassion, empathy, and peace. It is number 5 on our tefillah page. Please listen, and then join in.
Ava Verachamim Chesed V'Shalom V'Shalom
We continue on page 10 with the Chatzi or partial Kaddish. This Chatzi Kaddish always comes, it's a little reminder we're about to shift gears subtly. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabba be'alma divrach chirutei ve'yamlich malchutei v'chayechon u'yomecho u'v'chayedecho beit Yisrael ba'agala u'vizman kariv v'imaru amen yehi shmei Rabba mevorach le'olam le'om e'omaya yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitbar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shemei dekudesha berichu li'ela u'li'ela mikol birchata l'shirata tushbechata benechemat damiran be'alma v'imaru amen. We now come to the Amidah, our standing silent prayer. The notes on all the available versions that our Machzor, our High Holiday Prayer Book, provides are at the top of page 10. You know, whenever I teach our children about silent prayer, the minute they hear silence, they retreat. Silence. We carry this baggage with us. Shh. We often, when given the opportunity, don't know what to do. We often retreat into distracted thought. Our entry into this time of silence comes from a very, very deep place in the consciousness of the Jewish people. Sacred history gives us moments that unfold for us, that lift us up, that illuminate for us things that otherwise might feel dark. I am often drawn to the story of Yaakov, Jacob, who stole his brother's birthright. Yaakov is no angel. Yaakov, the word Yaakov means, there's several meanings, but he's the holy trickster. He's the deceiver, Yaakov. And he flees from his home because he has to. His older brother is threatening to kill him. He has a whole story, a whole epic growth period where he himself learns something about deception when he meets a real artist of deception, Lavan, his uncle, his father-in-law, who becomes his father-in-law. And Yaakov sees what deception does to the soul. And he grows. And he becomes enriched in so many ways. But mostly, he understands that it's time to go home. It's time to face the music, as it were. And so, he starts back with his children and their children and this big retinue and sheep and all that he has accrued, and hasn't seen his brother in 20 years, but he remembers why he had to leave. And he hears that his brother is approaching with 400 horsemen, warriors. And on the night before his next encounter with his brother Esav, he separates himself from his camp. He walks alone under the moonlight along the Abok, along the river. And he's alone with his thoughts. He understands something in this silence that teaches us what silence might be. And he offers this prayer. Katonti mikol hachasadim umikol ha'emet. In this moment, when he is not sure he's going to survive the next day, this night might be his last. He moves into this place of saying, I am unworthy of all the kindness and faith that you have shown me, dear God. When I left home, I crossed this river with nothing but the staff in my hand. And now I return with enough for Shnei Machanot, 2 full camps. Rescue me, I pray, from the hand of my brother. Let him see my heart. And I am afraid of what tomorrow might bring. Listen to the melody. Listen to this prayer that can help us move into this time of silence to come.
קטונתי מכל החסדים ומכל האמת אשר עשית את עבדך.
קטונתי מכל החסדים ומכל האמת אשר עשית את עבדך.
במגלי עברתי את הירדן, דייתי לשני מחנות, הצילני נא, הצילני נא, הצילני נא.
במקלי עברתי את הירדן, דייתי לשני מחנות, הצילני נא, הצילני נא, הצילני נא. כי חסדך גדול עלי, כי חסדך גדול עלי.
במקלי עברתי את הירדן, עתה הייתי לשני מחנות, הצילני נא, הצילני נא, הצילני נא. במקלי עברתי את הירדן, עתה הייתי לשני מחנות, הצילני נא, הצילני נא, הצילני נא. קטונתי מכל החסדים ומכל האמת. האמת.
Our tradition here at Beth Chaim is during the Amidah time, this time of silence, that we usually just provide a little bit of music. The invitation is not to get distracted by it, but to allow it to take you deeper, deeper inside. During this Amidah, Rita Tasted will play a very special nigun called the Rav's Nigun. Anytime I begin a nigun, I have this flash. I used to meet the eyes of my dear friend Ralph Blyer, Zichrono Livracha, and I'd look him in the eye and I could hear that thought bubble above his head going, more lies. Love that man. This actually, there's a part of the nigun tradition that's very complex. It's not the ones we often sing because we can't. This nigun was composed by Reb Shneur Zalman of Liadi. It's called in Yiddish a dvekas nigun, or in Hebrew, nigun dvekut. Dvekut means to draw close. This nigun is a sacred invitation to draw close to the divine within. Due to its holiness, this profound melody is sung only on special occasions. So please listen, but don't get distracted. You're invited inside. turn to the bottom of page 13 and raise our voices in prayer. Prayer for peace. Oseh Shalom Bimroman. We've all seen the incredible damage, destruction, and loss of life that Hurricane Ian has brought to the sections of Florida and the eastern seaboard. I'm invited to hold these folks who are hurting so badly in his prayer for peace. May they someday soon find a renewed sense of wholeness. May they stand with each other to rebuild their lives.
Say Shalom, Shalom Hiroma. Booyah, say Shalom Aleinu. Be'al Kol Israel. Be'al Kol Ishmael, Be'al Kol Ha'olam, Be'al Kol Israel, Be'al Kol Ishmael, Be'al Kol
Amen. What a blessing to have Sujata with us with her amazing flute. Thank you, Sujata. Once again, I want to say Shana Tova, Chatima Tova. Love sonnet number 89 by the great poet Pablo Neruda. When I die, I want your hands on my eyes. I want the light and the wheat of your beloved hands to pass their freshness over me once more. I want to feel the softness that changed my destiny. I want you to live while I wait for you asleep. I want your ears to hear the wind. I want you to sniff the sea's aroma that we loved together, to continue to walk on the sand we walk on. I want what I love to continue to live. And you whom I love and sang above everything else to continue to flourish full-flowered. so that you can reach everything my love directs you to, so that my shadow can travel along in your hair, so that everything can learn the reason for my song, my song. This poem, this poem carries within it a deep teaching about love, grief, and healing, powerful dimensions of Yom Kippur. A month ago, September 4th, was my late wife Yael's 6th yahrzeit. 6 years ago, I joined a community of mourners with a loss that felt soul-crushing. In the depth of my grief, I was blessed with an extraordinary vision. It was a vision that changed the course of my grief journey. First, I realized that the most important teachings that Yael had to offer me were already mine. The essential download of her love and her wisdom was complete. This realization was the first soul comfort that I experienced since her death. The second thing that came to me was that when I was ready, I needed to create a Jewish healing center to honor her memory. And not only her memory, but in the memory of Ari Mazer, the son of our dear friends Mark Mazer and Susan Talon Mazer. Ari had died 7 months before Yael, and we had been on this journey together. When I next saw Susan and Mark, I told them that I had had this vision. I didn't know if it spoke to them or if it was what they wanted. But I had a dream of creating the Ari Yael Jewish Healing Center in memory of their beloved son and my beloved wife. Their response was immediate and 100% affirmative. In the winter of 2018, Mark, Susan, and I went to a grief weekend sponsored by the Bay Area Jewish Healing Center. I have sent more than 60 people, some of you here in our community, to this weekend over the years. It was an exceptional healing opportunity. At the weekend, I met Zoe Francesca. Neither of us were there looking for a partner, but we saw each other, and over time, a beautiful relationship blossomed. Because of her skill set as an end-of-life doula and a gifted healer in her own right, Zoe has become a person who has helped revitalize and re-energize the Ari Yael Jewish Healing Center so that we could do all the work we were meant to do in this phase of our lives. Each in our own special way, as Yael did, and in fact, as Ari did as well. This past year, in this very room, Zoe and I led 2 7-week grief groups, one for people who have lost partners or spouses, and one for people who have lost one or both parents. This is one of the greatest gifts that Zoe and I can offer this community. It was a rich and powerful experience for everyone in those two groups. Both of these groups were co-sponsored by Beth Chaim Congregation and the Ari Yael Jewish Healing Center. This fall, in just a few weeks, Zoe and I will be offering an interfaith couples group. Zoe was both the product of an interfaith marriage and raised her children in an interfaith marriage. I have been working with interfaith couples for many years. If you are an interfaith couple, regardless of where you are on your journey together, I believe this group will serve you as well as any of your friends who are interfaith couples. Many interfaith couples I know have reached a truce or even a shared understanding, which is quite different than healing the woundedness that often, not always, comes into play between such couples. There's often a sense of loss, a fear of abandonment, sometimes even betrayal, that accompanies agreements that couples from different faith traditions make. This workshop will plant powerful seeds for healing around issues that often go unresolved. There is such a rich soul work that can be done with couples who come from different faith traditions. We are also offering a support group for family caregivers. Family caregivers. It's led by Susan Talon Mazer and Zoe Goldblatt. I just have to tell you that Susan is the most skilled hospice nurse I have ever encountered, and I have worked with hundreds of hospice nurses who I think mostly are angels. Susan is the very best. When she worked for Hope Hospice here in Contra Costa, she was the person they called on for the most difficult cases. They called her the troubleshooter. Several of which we worked on together. That's how I met Susan. And then she cared for her own son throughout his entire journey with cancer, and it was breathtaking. She has taught me a great deal about caregiving support. If you have a parent or loved one for whom you are offering any level of caregiving, whether at home or remotely, this group will serve you. Caregiving for loved ones or friends is one of the holiest and most challenging things one can do in this life, and it requires support. We who have done this or are doing it or will be doing it deserve support. Susan and Zoe are special souls who really know what it means to do this work, and this group will be worth it. So, what do all of these life challenges have in common, and why am I addressing them here tonight on Yom Kippur? When we avoid hard feelings such as fear, grief, and anger, we shut down in so many other ways. We often shut ourselves off to love, connection, and living fully. That's the cost. The central teaching of Yom Kippur is how loss, death, and grief can be experiences that help us more powerfully appreciate this precious gift of life. These experiences can actually wake us up to renewed experiences of love and life. So many of us are either carrying unprocessed grief or fearing the advent of aging, sickness, and death for ourselves or our loved ones. So I want to share some insights that I hope can demonstrate that the only way out is through. For the first year since Yael died, I come to these high holy days with a fullness of heart that makes my soul sing. This past summer was one of the most extraordinary of my entire life. It was a fullness of love and deep connection to God, to the mystery at the heart of reality that has filled me up. Because of the grief work that Zoe and I have done privately and with groups here at Beth Chaim, I am able to feel fully alive again. It was a journey. I have been able, and with so much amazing support, I've been able to pay attention to my soul, to do soulful, intentional healing. I have learned in the deepest possible way that this soul work is absolutely crucial for a healthy, life-affirming grief journey. In June, Zoe and I co-officiated at our own wedding, a full weekend of joyful togetherness with family that Zoe and I spent a year preparing for. One of the rituals we created involved celebrating the wonderful gifts that each of us has received from our previous spouses. We each named aloud 3 blessings we still carry with us and feel grateful for from our first marriages. And we lit and floated a tea candle in a bowl of water for each blessing. All of our children were there, and they participated in the ceremony of honoring. Then, at the wedding ceremony itself, we honored Yael's memory and brought her in as a sacred witness. This allowed me and my family to fully celebrate this wedding because it openly embraced the truth of loss and allowed for the ceremony to be fully sacred. At the end of July, I had another peak life experience. I got to officiate at the wedding of my son, Ethan, and his beloved Hannah. Again, it was a whole weekend, a love fest of monumental proportions. The greatest gift was that Hannah and Ethan invited me to work with them for 6 months leading up to the ceremony, crafting this sacred moment. We talked openly and discussed how to make Hannah's non-Jewish family as welcome and comfortable as possible. We also worked hard to acknowledge Yael in a way that would celebrate her love for Ethan and for Hannah without introducing a funereal quality to the proceedings. For me, one of the most special moments was when my older son, Jonathan, who was Ethan's best man, got up to share a toast with Hannah and Ethan and all of us. It was stunning to hear my son speak so transparently, so beautifully about his love for his brother and his new sister. It was one of the many moments in which we felt his mother's presence, her profound happiness that her boys were such good men, such loving human beings. I want to share with you that Zoe was my ally in inviting Yael in to these simchas fully and completely. Zoe's courage and willingness to fully walk with me on my grief journey has made it possible for me to grieve fully and to heal. I want to give you one last example. In our house, I've kept a large basket overflowing with condolence cards and letters untouched. Many from people in this room, others from Yael's friends and patients. It was one of the aspects of my grief that I just never felt able to deal with, to open these cards and letters. This year on Yael's Yortzeit, Zoe suggested that we take the basket to the cemetery and read them together. When we got there, I suddenly knew that I should read them aloud to Yael and share all these love letters with her. And Zoe was there with me, giving strength as the hours passed, crying with me, laughing with me, supporting me. And we did it, and it was brilliant. Just what my soul needed in the ongoing unfolding of my grief. My friends, grief is an amazing gift. Zoe has helped me embrace it in ways I never could have alone. So I come to you on this night of Yom Kippur and say, death is not our enemy. We are all going to die. Gather your friends and loved ones close. Celebrate this precious gift of life. This is the deepest teaching of Yom Kippur. We can enrich our lives beyond measure if we have the courage to talk about, envision, and diffuse some of our fears around the endings of our lives. In the spring, the Ari Yael Jewish Healing Center, together with Beth Chaim, will offer a gentle course in preparing for the inevitable on both the emotional level as well as the practical level. We are designing it to be a joyful exercise. It is intended, like Yom Kippur, to help us live a more aware, alive, and meaningful life. I hope you will join us. I want to conclude by saying that as long as I am Rabbi of Beth Chaim, Ari Yael Jewish Healing Center will be joining forces with Beth Chaim, offering this community and others around the East Bay access to wonderful and varied experiences of healing. And what I want to share with you is that when I am done serving as rabbi of this community, my plan is to continue to help lead the Ari Yael Jewish Healing Center. That means that we plan to continue to work jointly with Beth Chaim and offer quality spiritual services and healing support programs, hopefully for many years to to come. Shana Tova. Gamar Chatima Tova. Please listen to this meditation by Rabbi Rami Shapiro. Today, we stand before the mirror of all.
To see ourselves as we are.
We come with no gifts, no bribes, no illusions, no excuses.
We stand without defense, waiting to be filled.
What will fill us?
Remorse, certainly. So much error and needless pain.
And joy. Remembered moments of love and right doing.
We are too complex for single-sided emotions.
And we are too simple to be excused by our complexity.
Let us be bold enough to see.
Humble enough to feel.
Daring enough to turn.
And embrace the way of justice, mercy, and simplicity. Amen.
Amen.
We now turn to the Vidui, the public confessional on page 21. Traditionally on Yom Kippur, we repent and confess our collective misdeeds repeatedly in an alphabetical list. Our Machzor, our High Holy Day prayer book, provides a variation on the confessional in the bottom third of the page. Please chant along with us. It says, "Who are We are light and truth and infinite wisdom, eternal goodness.
But we get angry.
We get confused,
We get discouraged.
We forget we're holy.
yet we've attacked, we've belittled.
We've been cruel. We've denied.
We have gossiped. We have hated.
We've ignored, yes, we have jeered, and at our core,
We are light and truth and infinite wisdom, eternal goodness.
Yet we have lied. We have mocked.
We've neglected, yes, we've pretended.
we have quarreled, we've sat by.
We've been uncaring. Yes, we've been violent.
We get angry.
We get lazy.
We get hopeless.
We forget we're holy. And at our core, we are light and truth and infinite wisdom, eternal goodness.
The vidui, this confessional, is not meant to be a weapon, but a light, an exercise in compassionate awareness. Some congregations have morphed this prayer into a powerful affirmation. We join them tonight and are invited, instead of to massage our hearts with an open palm during this meditation, in contrast to the pounding with our fist. So we'll start with the traditional Hebrew. It's you're invited to rise in body or spirit if you're able, and sing with us. Again, we are on page 21. The Hebrew is, well, you can see where it is. Hashamnu, Bagadnu, Gazalnu, Dibarnu, Dovvi. Hevinu, Vershanu, Zadnu, Chamasnu, Tafalnu, Sheker. Yatsnura, Kizavnu, Latsnu, Maragnu, Nitzanu, Sararnu, Avinu, Pashanu, Tzaravnu, Kishinu, Oren. Rashanu, Sichanu, Tiavnu, Tainu, Titanu, Please sing back to me. We have acted authentically.
We have acted authentically.
Been true to ourselves.
Been true to ourselves.
Cultivated compassion.
Cultivated compassion.
Discerned. Eventually got it.
Eventually got it.
We have faced the truth.
We have faced the truth.
Given back.
Given back.
Helped strangers.
Helped strangers.
Inspired.
Inspired.
Judge gently.
Judge gently.
We have known what to do.
We have known what to do.
Listened well.
Listened well.
Meant what we said.
Meant what we said.
Not held grudges.
Not held grudges.
Overcome anger.
Overcome anger.
We have persevered.
We have persevered.
Quieted our anxious thoughts.
Quieted our anxious thoughts.
Return to ourselves.
Return to ourselves.
Sincerely tried.
Sincerely tried.
Trusted.
Trusted.
Envision new possibilities.
Envision new possibilities.
We have walked the walk.
We have walked the walk.
Examined our habits.
Examined our habits.
Yearned to be whole.
Yearned to be whole.
Remembered what is sacred to us.
Remembered what is sacred to us.
Nine,
Nine, nine, nine, nine, nine, nine, nine, nine, nine, nine, nine, nine.
On pages 22 through 24, standing or seated, we turn to the prayer Al Chait. Please read through this silently, paying attention to which of these speak to you personally. The refrain is, for each of these misdeeds, we seek this day of release, forgiving and coming back to our core. Please take just a few moments in silence to read and reflect. We sing the refrain together in Hebrew. Yal kulam Elohai salicho slach lanu mechal lanu kaper lanu. We turn to page 26. Have a seat for a moment, please. As we ready ourselves for Avinu Malkeinu, please listen to a woman's meditation by Ruth Bryn, the best kavanah, the best spiritual meditation I've ever heard for Avinu Malkeinu. Please listen.
When men were children, they thought of God as a father. When men were slaves, they thought of God as a master. When men were subjects, they thought of God as a king. But I am a woman, not a slave, not a subject, nor a child who longs for God as father or mother.
I might imagine God as teacher or friend, but those images like king, master, father, mother are too small for me now. God is the force of motion and light in the universe. God is the strength of life on our planet. God is the power moving us to do good. God is a source of love springing up in us. God is far beyond what we can comprehend.
Together.
Amen.
If you have the koach, if you have the strength, please rise and body your spirit as we open the ark and sing Avinu Malkeinu on the top of page 27. Avinu Malkeinu, Avinu Malkeinu, Avinu Malkeinu, Choneinu V'aneinu, Ki ein banu ma'asim, Aseh Please be seated. Misha Berach, our prayer for healing, can be found on page 27. Our people have always believed that the gates of healing are wide open on Yom Kippur. We know that among us are people in need of our prayers for healing. Healing for the body, healing for the mind, healing for the spirit. We pray for all of them and all of us who need healing. Who do you know that needs our prayer for healing? I invite you to bring them into mind and heart as we offer these powerful prayers of healing.
Bless the ones before. souls in need of healing, with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say,
Usually I ask those in mourning or those observing a yahrzeit to please rise. Tonight, in honor of all those who have died this past year, I ask all who are able, check in with your body, to please rise in body or spirit. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shmei Rabba, v'yolma livrach irutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayei chom v'yomei chom v'chayei lechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'vizman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehei shmei Rabba mivarach le'olam u'le'olmei olmaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shemei dekudisha b'richu le'ela u'le'ela mikol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran mi'alma v'imru.
Amen.
Yehei shlama Rabba min Shemaya, v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru.
Amen.
Oseh shalom imrama, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru.
Amen.
Zecher, 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 tzadikim livracha, livracha. May, may, may their memories bless our days, bless our days. Amen. Please be seated. I'd like to ask Jonathan Kaur, President of Echaim, to come up for some brief announcements before we conclude. You can use this mic.
And the winner is Shana Tova. We'll meet again tomorrow morning at 9:30 a.m. for morning services. And then later tomorrow, we'll offer a wonderful children's service at 3:30. We are again partnering with a fantastic group called Tekiah. We had a great turnout for Rosh Hashanah and hope for the same again tomorrow. Please note the time for the service is not the same as it was for Rosh Hashanah. It starts at 3:30. Later in the afternoon, we'll offer Yizkor services at 4:30, followed by Nila at 5:30, and then our community break the fast that my wife Ray and I are again hosting at our home. Our afternoon services are open to all members and guests. No RSVP or tickets are needed. Finally, once again, I want to thank Naomi Ehrlich for her leadership in Tikam Olam. There'll be bins in front of the synagogue all week, so please bring your canned food and help us to fill those bins. Looking forward to seeing you in the morning. Shana Tova.
Jonathan. Many of us approach growing and aging the way we approach the Yamim Noraim, the days of awe, with fear and guilt. Our work as we grow and develop and age is to find the deep places of love inside us and expand them to include those we need to forgive and those from whom we seek forgiveness. This work begins at home with the difficult task of loving and forgiving ourselves. Only then can it authentically expand out into our families, our community, our people, and the world. May we begin or renew this work today. We include with Hayom, which means today.
Hayom